How you going, people? I'm Monkey Cap. So, turn this down before somebody accuses me of trying to steal their music. Me and Smokey's in the garage. It's kind of a little damp and rainy out there. Not really raining, just really moisture and damp. So I wanted to follow up. I got a, what's that called? A bit of honey in my mouth. So, if you remember the projects, there was this little Kubotan, sanded it down. This is 2 coats of tung oil. It's looking pretty good, I guess. This is a different color wood. I sanded it and I thought this would come out the same color as this, but it didn't. So that's alright. It still looks kind of nice. I like it. Let me hold it out here where you can see it. Two coats of tung oil after I sanded it down. Took off some of the little rough edges. Much smoother now. Works really well. So that's the Tonfa BR24. The Batman beating up kitties. And then the horns, I think somebody said this might be alligator. I think they're probably right. That cleaned up pretty nice. That's the leather. I only did one side. So this is the side of the horns that I cleaned up. And here's the side that it looked like when I bought it. So, not quite. Somebody may like the kind of faded tacky. I don't know. I think they look better, nice polished up. And then I put some, I cleaned up half of the leather, and I didn't do the last 2 pieces. So you can see what it looked like before, and then what it looked like after I cleaned it up. Now, obviously I can't do much to that thing. The sun has eaten it away and burned it away. I put a little leather dressing on it that I put on my horse saddle, and that's kind of what I used on both these. First I wiped off the dust, and then on the leather parts I put some saddle soap, and then after I cleaned it with saddle soap, I put on this leather dressing here. Vinegar was for a different project. I didn't use that here. There's the tung oil. I'm going to try and rub that on those wood pieces. Wipe them down because they look pretty shabby. You can see a little oil that I got off when I was cleaning that. So after I clean that leather, I'm going to put a coat of tung oil on both of the pieces of wood because they look bad. But the horns turned out really nice. And what I put on the horns was mink oil. I forgot I had some mink oil there for boots, shoes, something. And I said, well, hell, I was going to try the linseed oil, but I had the mink oil right there and went, well, what the hell. So I slid a little mink oil on there, and I was going to go ahead and do one of the other side and let you guys watch me do that one side. Because I know sometimes on YouTube when people explain stuff, they kind of they explain it and they think people know what they're talking about, and then you really don't. So I'm going to leave that camera right there, and we're going to and again, this is the stuff I put on the baton. And when you read the instructions on the tung oil, make sure you know that if you just put it on and leave it, it'll get all gummy. So I sanded it, wiped it down with a wet paper towel, kind of get the wood swells when it gets damp, so I wiped it down with that wet paper towel to kind of open up the pores a little bit, and then I put finger rub tung oil all over it, let it set for 10 minutes. It says 5 to 10 minutes. I let it set for 10 minutes, and it's starting to get gummy at 10 minutes. And then I took one of these lint-free cloth, you know, the little yellow, one of these things. And then you rub it off. Now it rubs smooth now, but when you first rub it off, it's going to stick because it gets really thick. So you kind of got to scrub it like this with the grain on the wood, and then you get that top part off and the oil that's soaked into the wood stays. and then you can give it a wipe down like so. But I use the lint-free cloth to remove the gummy part. It's just really hard and sticky after 10 minutes. And if you leave it on overnight, you're screwed. But 10 minutes, set the timer. I always tell Alexa to set the timer on me. And then when she tells me it's time to take it off, I remove the tongue oil. So that's that. Let me show you how I did these little horns. So we'll put this sucker over here. Make sure you can see. Can you guys see that? I think you can see it. I'll move it down a little bit this way. Well, I was really impressed with the way this came out, man. I thought this was just trashed, rubbery. It was sticky. Man, saddle soaked it, rubbed it off with just a paper towel, got all the dirt and stuff off, and then stuck my finger in this leather dressing. Here, smell it. And then just rubbed it back and forth here, and came out pretty good. I think that might be some sort of alligator. I think ostrich has little dimples. But this leather came back pretty good. So I'm basically going to do the same thing now. I'm going to wet this leather down over here. And again, this leather's broken and kind of coming off. But I'm just going to wipe it down a little bit. Remove some of the dirt off that wood while I'm doing this. And then get a little saddle soap with a toothbrush and just kind of saddle soap that in there. Should be a little damper, but you can do it dry. You want it kind of suds up with water, but this saddle soap will work like this. And then I'll just put a little saddle soap on this. You can tell some of it's chipping off. Again, this will stop the decay, stop the drying out a little bit. Then once the old saddle soap's on there, I take this is more of a little damp one here, and I just rub that in to remove any of the dirt on there. Then I'll dry that off with another little drier paper towel. Get that saddle soap, and if you leave a little saddle soap on there, it's not going to hurt it. Normally your rag turns this color because the saddle soap is removing the stuff. And then take this out and just rub some of this oil on here. And I'm putting it on pretty liberally because I want it to kind of soak in, because this obviously leather's been neglected and it hasn't. And I'll put a little right there just so you can kind of see what it looks like when it's wet. And I really want to soak this in because this is dried, and that'll bring that back. Once the leather's dead, it loses its porous and it's hard. You're not going to bring it back. It becomes brittle and it breaks. That's why if you don't take care of your saddle, you'll end up on the ground. And then that's it. I just let that soak in. And now I'll do the horn. And you know, this will turn out like this. Obviously this one ain't going to turn out like this one. This one looks like it was in the sun on this side. So now I'm going to work on the horn here. So the horn's pretty kind of trashy. It's been outside. It's pretty dirty. So first I just wiped it off. Got all the dirt and crap off it. And it's pretty dirty. And then after that's wiped off, there's something about sanding horn that you're not supposed to breathe it in. I mean, some people even say use a respirator or a mask, or I'm assuming if you do it all the time, it's not good. Something about this dust, if you breathe it in, it's not good. There's a breeze coming this way, so any dust, hopefully it's going to blow by me and not up to my respiratory area. But to help prevent that, I put a little mink oil on there, so this will pick up the dust, and then I'll sand it with the mink oil on it. And that way, the mink oil keeps the dust down, and I'm actually sanding in the mink oil. And this mink oil brings it back to life pretty quick, but it's still kind of rough. It's not what I consider polished smooth. It's a little rough. And so this mink oil is going to bring this horn back to life. I know somebody's out there. This is like watching paint dry. Why do I want to watch? Just show me what. Nobody wants to take the time to watch a process of anything anymore. Which, man, I don't really care. Fast forward. Shit, go to the end. I don't give a shit. Not like I make money if you stay. I mean, I guess YouTube figures out some sort of thing on how they pay. Nobody freaking knows, and they can rip you off and they can do what they want, so it really doesn't matter any damn way. Alright, so now I got the mink oil in there, and I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of wipe down. I don't want to remove it all. You can still see some of the dirt coming off. And now I'm going to take this, I think this is, what is this, 800? Hell, I don't know what it is. 600. 600 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to remove some of the rough edges. And you'll notice there's not a lot of dust coming off here because the mink oil is trapping it in the sandpaper. And the pieces where I see a little scrape or something, I go a little bit more. And I'm not really removing a whole bunch. I'm just, as I'm coughing, I'm like, you're breathing in the horn. I just sucked in part of my bit of honey on the wrong pipe. I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on this. I mean, it only took, well, however long it takes you see me to do this half, I did the other half. So again, now I can tell it's a lot smoother. The rough edges are, it doesn't have that gritty texture, which is going to help it take the next coat of mink oil better. You can tell when I get to a dry area, I hear it, and I can feel it grinding a little bit. And I'm going with the grain of the horn. The horn grain kind of grows this way, so I'm not going against the grain. You notice I'm going back and forth with the length of the horn. And you shouldn't be seeing any dust. I know there's some safety Sally out there. You should have gloves on and eye protection and hearing protection because the sandpaper is going to hurt you. Oh, I can't hear any damn way. Freaking military and cop work always got me shooting damn guns, running around with sirens in my damn ear, driving in a car. I can't hear shit. What? All right. So, got to kind of checking for any rough areas that doesn't feel smooth. Feels pretty nice. Alright, give this a wipe down again. Try to use a little bit cleaner so maybe you can see the dust that I'm getting off. Alrighty, that's kind of what I sanded off, kind of came off. That years of top layer of dirt. Now I'll put another coat of mink oil on here and we'll be good to go. And I'll just let that set and soak in. And I put the mink oil in with the grain too. I mean, I don't think it would matter if you go in circles or back and forth, as long as you get the oil back in that horn. And you're about to see the finished product. Didn't take too long. And mink oil, like a lot of oils, it kind of gets, I don't know if viscosity or, it just kind of melts a little bit as you rub it and heat it. So it gets, this feels kind of coarse when I pull it out, but then as I'm moving back and forth, generating a little friction and heat, I mean, I could probably put a blow dryer on here and heat it up and melt it in. I don't know if that would make it absorb more or not. Now I could wipe that off, but that's pretty much it. I don't know if that's coming out. You saw the before and after shot. Those horns are really pretty. Man, that was a good little find. Leather came back nice. Alligator came back nice. Alrighty. So that's the horn. I don't need to do the other one. I'm going to put a little tung oil on that wood. And again, after, before. Maybe I'll bring it over here in the light. Alrighty. After, before, and before, and after. And I think this horn right here is going to look pretty good. It'll look just like the other horn. And the other horn came back to life pretty nice. So that was a pretty good find. Those turned out a lot better than I thought. And the Kubotan in the back with the that was thrown in turned out pretty nice. I like the way that color and finish came out. So tung oil, mink oil, a little leather dye, and well, in that there with the projects I haven't done. I don't think, a lot of people said this was they thought this was copper. I don't think this is copper. Is it copper? I don't know, but somebody said let me see the close-up of the back part, so let me show you this. So this little thing, I thought it was just a nail, and I was like, oh, I can pull that out and redo that. Well, I don't think it's a nail. It's but this is the thing in there, and I don't know if this is coming out or not. See this? I can't pull this damn thing out. I don't know what it's connected to or how the hell it's in there. But this won't straighten up so it'll spin. So it's all cockeyed. I mean, it's going to catch the wind and make the weather vane point to the right area. But I just figured if this was straight, it would spin like it's supposed to and wouldn't hit the tail. And I just cannot figure out how the hell to fix that. And a couple people said, let me see a close-up. So that's what the hell that looks like. All right. So again, I don't know if that's copper or not. I think that's kind of paint peeling off, personally. I don't think copper rusts like that, does it? So anyway, I think I got to paint it with something. I just don't know what. And all right, so we'll end that there. Thanks for all the tips. Okay, finished product. That's the old ones. All right, we'll end that there. Moki's not impressed.